Hello, monk style surviving coming at you. Rainy BC. Down there's the lake. We got an apple tree right here. Kind of ironic a little bit though, because I came out here to talk about the two trees. You know, tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life itself. So, kind of ironic that we have an apple tree right there, right? So, um, hopefully everybody's keeping well. God bless everyone. Hi, Tulkas. I love you, buddy. Looks like the new wave is coming back in, as they were saying, and whatever they say always comes in, as you know. So they're talking about the vaccines that's going to come in. They've attacked the meat industry again, because also, no, the produce industry, because when it came down to vegetables and fruits and things like that, in Ontario itself, they just, all these guys are suggesting that they should shut down the farming system without considering the food repercussions in the end. They're just worried about the workers and stuff, right? So they're not thinking of those solutions, but I don't think they want to do either, because I've been seeing a lot of half meat type of products coming in the commercials lately as well. So definitely they want something coming into place. But going back to the tree of knowledge and good and evil and the tree of life itself, uh, the people that I find are there's a division in this in the Christian world, how they think about the two trees being cut down and what have you as well, where it was originally, and things like that, where the Garden of Eden was. So all these discussions, but the one thing about the good, one thing they all agree on about the tree of good, evil, and of good, and good is the fact that it's a world of duality. It's a world of hurt. It's a world of both joy and pain. But at the same time, it's also the world of the beast system. Uh, and now, when you look at the tree of life, which is, they say, where the book, where you're written in the book of life itself, where your name is in there, right? So that's really been the key. Where do we sit? Most people say we live under, right now, the duality, and I agree with them, because I look at the people around me, and they don't have that relationship with God anymore. They have a relationship with science. They have a relationship with their iPhone. They have a relationship with a bunch of 1,000 likes and things like that. And then if you approach somebody that's actually living under a tree of life, and I'll say those two people are thinking everyone's underneath the tree of good and evil. No, when children are born, they're still under the tree of life. It's actually us that corrupt them in the end when we start teaching them the shit that we know. Okay, so, but there are those though that are, maybe God has kept them that way, where they're unscathed. They're not under the tree of good and evil and good. Basically, it's, they're still under the tree of life, and uh, the tree of life is not an actual tree. It's us that come up from the ground, like who we are, right? Each time a new infant is born, that's a new life that came out. That's living under a tree of life. That's why woe to those that mess with the kids, with the children, because they're still under the embrace of God. But once we start putting them in our embrace and bringing them in our duality world, where everything becomes confusing all of a sudden, because it's everything is under the beast system. So, what I'm trying to say is this: identify which tree you're under. And if you find yourself under the good of knowledge, because if you're thinking you're a professional this and you know everything, well, I have issues with professionals, because when we watch all these movies, here, I'll create for you this way. When we watch movies, it's always the professionals that create that put out the pandemics, that create the perfect hit, that create the perfect plan to go somewhere. So it's always a professional doing something. So let me ask you, why are we listening to these professionals? Living under the tree of good and knowledge. They were the ones tempted by Satan's guys, by the serpent itself. I see my face is disappearing from the camera itself, which is good, probably, because that's really what's not important. What I'm trying to say to you guys is I'd rather it be embraced overcome with light, which is really what the tree of life is all about. So I think when you go talk to somebody that's under the tree of life, they talk about their relationship with God. They talk about, how they could still bear fruit, about, because this is really what it is. Okay, my own portion, I'm trying to get it out to you guys that right now, whether you're looking into all the different channels out there, when you're looking into the mainstream channel, they're telling you it's end times already. They are. It's all in the symbols and stuff. But when you look into the truther channels, I look into this financial guy, save this, save that, and then in the end of it, closes with, God bless everyone, make sure you have a relationship with God. I look into the farming guy. He talks about all the food shortages, all these things, and he's talking about normally pulling up articles that are true to life. This guy's not a conspiracy guy. At the end of it, at the end of it, he goes, God bless everyone as well. So everything leads back to God in the end, right? And then you talk about you go to the guy that talks about all the weird things, all the UFOs, all the weird spiritual things, all the math, all the paranormal stuff. And at the end of it, he goes, may God help us all. So everything gets back to God again. And then there's that dude that makes me laugh all the time. He comes in, takes apart all the bullshit that's going on TV, tells you why it's bullshit and things like that. He's really funny and stuff. But in the end, while he's getting mad and pissed off and swearing, he'll turn around away from his mic and say, please, God, help us. Everything goes back to God again. So, but if you go into the emotions, though, that these guys are putting out, it's almost like you're buying into the duality system as well. So that's why I came out here, maybe a voice of reason, calm things down. There's a guy named the Grox, though. He's cool. If you want to, what a cool name, eh? JROXT, Alpha Omega. Check him out. He's mapping out in the world, how he's showing you how, the system has been devised long ago. Remember, the devil has been here before us. And it's not until Jesus comes. And it seems like, oh yeah, all these guys are talking. We're up to Revelation 17. That's way up there in the Revelations, guys, because there are only 22 of them. Okay? So we're like 5 sections away before we see the second coming of God. Now that's pretty exciting for a lot of Christians out there. But for those who haven't, started with their relationship, maybe reacquaint themselves again, maybe now's the time. Sorry it talked so long. I just wanted to get that out. For those people that know me and didn't think I was religious before, but I wasn't just the type to come up to you and say, hey, you should convert to this, blah, blah, blah. Because I don't believe in organized religion myself. I believe in my relationship with God, in my relationship with Jesus. I think that protects me a lot, guys, okay? Because I can still walk lightly because my conscience is clear. That's what it's like to be under the tree of life, okay? Because when you talk to me long enough, we'll probably end up talking about God. Because that's all there is. Because that's why we took the tree of knowledge and in the first place, those people anyway, or maybe Eve did, only because she wanted to know what God was all about, because there's so much wondrous things. But I think patience is, because God will show us eventually anyway, without having to take the temptations or something. So stop with your temptations, put down your cell phones, put down your TVs, come out here and enjoy yourself a little bit under the good light, okay? Because light being casted by your cell phones, being casted by a TV, that's casted by the beast system. Come out, cast your own light once you're glowing from God's light as well. God bless everyone. God bless you, Tulkas. Bye, buddy. Have a good day, everyone.